It is universally agreed that Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is one of the greatest games of all time, but it's not one of the games that everyone ends up completing for whatever reason. Hey everyone, I'm Simsy, the hero of free time, and welcome to another episode of How Hard is the 100% Completion, the show where we take a look at some of your favourite games, or my favourite games in this case, and we dive into how hard it is to 100% complete that game. And today we're looking at none other than Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, because why wouldn't we? It's an amazing game. I can't even say enough amazings about it. Ocarina of Time is one of those games where it doesn't really tell you how to 100% the game. When you search up what the 100% requirements are, there's a lot of disagreements in the community on what 100% requirement would be. Some people say you need to break every single rock and talk to every NPC. Others say you just need to do the main kind of questline stuff and make sure all your item slots are filled. I'm going to go with what you would call a traditional 100%. That's what this is going to cover, and not what they call a true 100%. So let's dive straight into the list of everything you have to do to complete this game. You need to get 20 hearts, all upgrades, get a Epona, learn every single song, get every item, get 100 gold skulltulas, get given a cow for your house, complete every dungeon and temple with map and compass included, and defeat Ganon. Pretty easy. Now let's dive into each of these individually. So first of all, 20 hearts. So to get 20 hearts in the game, first you need to get the 8 heart containers that you get at the end of every boss. So every time you defeat a boss in the game, apart from the bottom of the well and the ice cavern. Don't ask me why. But the other ones, you get a heart container, which increased your maximum life capacity. You then have to get 36 hearts scattered throughout Hyrule. They are quite tricky to find, especially if you don't know where they are already. I wouldn't be surprised if you need to use a guide to find the last one or two, because some of these are hidden pretty well. Some of the heart pieces that are in this game that are pretty hard to get, I would say things like the Dampy Race. A lot of them come from mini games. If you do the Dampy Race under a minute, you get yourself a heart piece. I found this a major struggle, but when I normally do this Dampy Race, I am just terrible at avoiding the fire. If you avoid the fire, you probably have a good chance of doing this. Some people even do this without using the long shot, which hats off to you if you do, because that's a challenge in its own. I personally use the long shot to take a little shortcut at the end of the race to try and get there quicker. It saves a few seconds. It's very helpful. Unless you're not very good aim, then it's not very helpful and you're not going to win. Other heart pieces come from places like putting in the magic beans as a child, and then as an adult riding those flowers to different locations. There are 10 magic bean locations you can put in, and more than half of those give you either heart pieces or gold skulltulas. They're all pretty useful in that sense. Other heart pieces can, like I said, can be found, in mini games. There's a few little mini side quests you can do talking to NPCs. All upgrades. So for this, you get 2 upgrades for your bomb bags, your seed bags, your Deku nut capacity, your stick capacity, your quiver, and your wallet. Most of these are done through mini games. The bomb bag, for example, one of those you get from a mini game where you bowl. The same with the seed bag, you get them from the shooting game and one in the Lost Woods, where it's kind of again a shooting game. The quiver, again, 2 shooting games. You do the same shooting game you did as a child, but this time as an adult, and also you get one from another shooting game in Gerudo Valley. The wallet upgrades, I believe you get both of these from the Gold Skulltula collections. The other ones are the sticks and the Deku nuts. You'll find a Deku shrub throughout Lost Woods. There's one each that you can pay to upgrade each one of those. They are a little bit missable, but not as missable as the other one. So once you do the mask fetch quest, you can take your masks to a secret little arena. I don't really know what it is. It's kind of like a showground for Deku shrubs to admire you and give you a reward based on the face that you put out. But if you don't do this before the adult fetch quest, you cannot get all the upgrades, which means a 100% completion is out of your realm of possibility. There's also the fairy upgrades. So there's obviously you get the first fairy magic. I think you have to get it. The game tells you, leads you that way. You get the second one from the Death Mountain Crater. And then you get the hearts upgrade right near the end of the game. And then you get 3 fairy spells. I think I don't know. I never thought of them as spells. I always thought they were gems, but I think they're actually just spells. Unlock Epona. I never really thought about this, but yeah, you can 100% finish the game without ever getting Epona. It's very possible. Epona is also required if you want to get a few of the other items in the game, such as the biggest quiver, or the bigger quiver, depending on when you do it, and also getting the 10 big pos that are scattered throughout Hyrule Field. To get Epona, you make sure you've got the Epona song first, which you get from going into Lon Lon Ranch as a child. Go back to Lon Lon Ranch as an adult and race Ingo twice, beat him twice, and then Epona is yours. for the taking. It's great. It also gives you a pretty cool cutscene and a friend for life. So what's not to like? That leads quite nicely into the next one, which is get every song in the game. Yeah, very much possible to go without getting every song in the game, I know. Kind of crazy. There's only 2 real songs that are missable, I think, as far as I can remember, which would be the Sun Song and Epona Song. We already know how to get Epona Song, but the Sun Song, Kakariko Village, go into the graveyard, go to the back, give that a whole check out there. Get every item in the game. There's no point talking about items that you have to get, like for example, hook shot, long shot. Anything you're going to get in a temple, you have to get. There's no point talking about those ones, because you're going to get them if you play this game regardless. However, items that people do miss. One of them would be the ice arrows. Go to the Gerudo training ground, you can go inside, you basically do like a bunch of challenges and you get yourself the ice arrows. Pretty useful if you want to fight Bongo Bongo, if you get them after Bongo Bongo. Not overly useful. There's not a lot you can do with the ice arrows, unfortunately. I've tried a few things you can do with them, but it is more of a novelty at this point. There are 4 bottles you can get in the game. One of the 4 bottles you have to get. The other 3, completely optional. One would be talking to the lady in Kakariko Village as a child. She asks you to grab all of her cuckoos and put them into the pen. Very easy. It's actually the first bottle most people get. The next bottle is at Lon Lon Ranch. As a child again, go talk to Talon, do his little super cuckoo mini game. I don't know what it is with bottles and cuckoos. And finally, to get your 4th and final bottle, you need to get all 10 big Poes scattered throughout Hyrule Field. They all have a certain place they spawn, so it's not like you're going around aimlessly and they just suddenly appear. They are all in their own separate spots, and once you get them, they do not come back. The most annoying part of this is that you have to use bottles to collect them, and as you've probably worked out by now, if you've got all the bottles so far, you've had 3, which means you're going to be making a minimum of 4 trips. Take your big Poes, give them to the Poe salesman, and once you get 1,000 points, which you get 100 for every big Poe, he will give you a bottle. It's quite nice, very useful. You can put things like potions in it or fairies. Other items include things like the big bronze sword that comes from the adult fetch quest. Talk to the cuckoo lady that gave you the bottle as a child, and it starts the whole quest. Just know at the end of the fetch quest, you do get yourself a sword that does 2 times damage. And there's also the Happy Mask quest as a child. Your reward for that one technically is to go to the shop and pick any mask you want, but realistically it's the Mask of Truth, which when worn, you talk to gossip stones and they give you gossip. A lot of this gossip is just random trivial facts. You'll need to get 100 golden Skulltulas hidden everywhere throughout the game. I think these are a little bit hard for what they are. So once you get to 50, you get kind of the main rewards, which is like a heart piece. You get the 2 upgrades for your wallet. You get a rumble pack, which is, I guess, was back in the day was a feature. But once you got 50, really the next step is getting the other 50, and that unlocks you a final 200 rupees. Anytime you want them, you can go back and talk to them and get another 200 rupees. Personally, if you're not looking to 100% this game, then I wouldn't even bother. I would say don't bother with the 100 Skulltulas. I'd say get 50, then you're sorted. The extra 50, they're a bit of a grind. There's a bit of backtracking involved. And also, I nearly forgot about this one, getting a cow in Link's house as an adult. If you go back to Lon Lon Ranch after you've defeated Ingo twice, and got Epona, go back with Epona and talk to Malon, who just do the little mini game race that she asks you to do, but do it under 50 seconds, get yourself a cow. It's not actually that hard to do, it's just easy to forget about. So yeah, make sure you remember that one. And also you'll need to complete all the dungeons and temples, and making sure that every time you get the compass and the map. And finally, defeat Ganondorf twice, because it's Nintendo. So that is Ocarina of Time in a nutshell. That's the whole list of everything you need to do. And how can you track all of this? Well, you have a few screens. You have your screen for tracking things like how many heart pieces you currently have if you're on the 3 out of 4, 2 out of 4. You can track gold Skulltulas in 2 ways. One would be the counter and the pause menu that tells you if you've got 100 gold Skulltulas. Well, it tells you the exact amount you have. And the other way is if you go onto the map, you can actually see a little Skulltula symbol in each area when you've got every Skulltula in that place. That's very useful, because if you are missing 1 or 2, you know kind of the rough area of where to go to find your Skulltula. And if you go over to the items menu, you also will have empty slots that will show you where you're missing items. So you kind of get an idea of if you're missing something or not. Everything's got a place and everything stays to that place. So you can keep track of your items in that sense. If you go onto the start menu when you first load up your game, it'll tell you how many hearts you've got in the game, and it'll tell you about the main collectibles, so how far you are through the game. in terms of temples and dungeons. And what's your reward for completing all this? Well, your main reward for completing this is kind of upgrading your game as you go. It kind of makes the game easier for you. The more you have, the more you can do, the more health you have, the more life you have. Everything you get out of doing this, it gives back to you in some way. And does that make it worth it? I would say, yeah, it kind of is. Gold Skulltulas, maybe not, but everything else I would say is pretty worth it. And I'm going to give this one a rating of 3 out of 5 on difficulty. It's nothing too hard here, really. There's a little bit of a challenge, but everything that's a challenge here, you have to do to finish the game anyway. The extra stuff is really just a little bit of tedious collecting. Nothing too crazy. I would 100% recommend it because Ocarina of Time is a great game, and this is a great 100% completion. Thanks everyone for watching this video. If you took time out of your day to watch this, I really do appreciate it. And let me know how far you got and how well you done on a completion run of Ocarina of Time. And I will see you all on the next one. Later.